Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's me, Irvin, with another manga chapter review. This is going to be on chapter 47 of Sachi-iro no One Room, and is a series that I've been reviewing here for quite a bit. It's probably my longest running series, not the one with the most videos, but for sure the one that I've been reviewing the longest here. And I finally want to finish it. There is quite a bit of chapters out, about maybe 8 more after this one. And I'm not sure if more are coming out or not. We'll see. We'll see if the finale is actually out or not. But this is 47, and a few more will come out this week. I'm also going to try to catch up with other series that I also want to review here, like, yes, the samurai one as well. So anyways, before anything, guys, if you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We are trying to get to 4,700, and I did a live video yesterday trying to promote it. I might do another one this week to promote it as well. So if you haven't done so, subscribe, give some love, comment, like, and share. That always helps the channel. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about chapter 47. So a lot of things have been happening before this one, and this is kind of, we get two conclusions in this chapter, but we also get an introduction in this chapter. And I want to first go over the conclusions and then go over those nice last pages of this chapter that actually added a lot to the story that I didn't expect, but it makes sense. So first, the conclusions. First, the two detectives, they're being distracted by this woman, and obviously it's a good distraction. This woman is there in the forest to commit suicide. The forest is known for that. And they're trying to convince her to basically don't do it. And they put it like this. They say, we have no authority to decide whether you live or die, but we do have authority to tell you that if you are considering death, at least struggle to the end, right? Give yourself hope, give yourself the opportunity to live, maybe change, or remove yourself from the life that you're in. And she kind of envisions the little girl, and she says, yeah, that little girl, she wasn't really kidnapped, right? The kidnapper was actually saving her, and she reminds herself that the girl was there to also end her life, but also the girl was struggling. She was struggling to the end, and she gives herself that hope. So the detectives give her their number, and she goes on her way. So the detectives, we see them essentially, they realize they lost track of Haru and Sachi, but at the same time, they're pleased that they were able to help save a life that day. Then the girl herself shows up in the street, and there's cops in the street, and they're like, hey, there's a report of a woman with a knife, and she says, hey, it's me, right? She throws herself under the bus, says, it's me, I have the knife, but let me tell you about my abusive husband. And that's kind of the conclusion of her as well. She's giving herself hope, and hopefully she's able to free herself from that abusive life. Then we go into Haru and Sachi, and Sachi kind of has an epiphany in this chapter. She kind of has a lot of epiphanies, but this epiphany is essentially, she has her mother behind her speaking, not really literally, but she's she's imagining her mother behind her, giving her all these comments of, you're not good enough, he's gonna leave you, why are you even doing this, you had decided to kill yourself. She finally turns around, and her mother figure then transforms into her older self, and she kind of has this epiphany that her mother wasn't really the person holding her back, but really her old self, the beliefs of her old self, of the abusive self. Her mother wasn't the only one abusing her. She had multiple people. Her teacher was abusing her as well. So she envisions herself speaking with herself, and essentially letting go of her old self, her old beliefs of misery, of hating people that are happy, hating people that are trying to have, just hang on to that strip of hope. And she lets herself know that she wants to be with Haru. She wants to live with him, and that is her decision to be. and no one is gonna stop her. Now, I love how they're putting it like that, because immediately there we see her mother talking to her grandmother, and we haven't heard about her grandmother in all this series, but we see her mother talking to her grandmother in the phone, and the grandmother is just as the same as her mother. She is basically telling her daughter that she's worthless, that she doesn't know why she allowed her daughter to be kidnapped, and why she is the way that she is. Her son is successful, her other daughter is successful, but she's not successful. She's just a housewife, and she can't even do that well, that, you know, she had someone kidnap her own kid, and now there's media in the grandmother's house, and the grandma is upset about that because she doesn't want to talk about the media, about why she should be upset about her granddaughter being kidnapped. And she even, like, at the end of the conversation, bullies her daughter and says, yeah, remember to send me the money that you owe me this month, and make sure you put extra for the trouble that I'm going through all this kidnapping situation. And we see the daughter basically how we saw Sachi at the beginning of the series, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do, just kind of taking it all in from her mother and just letting it happen. And that in itself is just, it makes sense. I love this series because it opens up topics that should be spoken about, and this particular topic is generational abusement, and that is in the person that usually abuses someone, maybe they were abused as well, and usually someone's abused within their family, like, and you know, sometimes it's their mother and father, but sometimes it could be an uncle or a sibling, or someone else. And most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, this other member in the family was also abused by a grandfather or by another uncle or by someone above them. And that person probably was also abused at one point of their life, or they were mistreated, right? And verbal abuse and physical abuse is nothing different, right? A lot of people focus on the sexual abuse, but verbal and physical abuse, that's what it is. You know, it's it becomes a chain that if you don't break it, it continues on. You know, the grandmother is yelling and verbally abusing the mother. Well, the mother then turns around and does the same thing to her daughter, and then Sachi was becoming that. Sachi was becoming a person who didn't know how to control her emotions, and now, because of how to, she's going away from it. She's actually breaking that generational abusive chain, and it's great. It's amazing that we're seeing something as serious of a topic as it is in this series. That's why I like this series, because it's not ashamed of doing it. I mean, obviously, it's based on abusement and kidnapping, which are very serious topics whatsoever. But at the same time, adding more to it. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think on this chapter. I know a lot of you guys like the story like I do, and I'll be continuing this story for sure for the next few days as I catch up to the last chapter that's released here on Crunchyroll Manga, and we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.